Today on the Bandolier Says podcast, we're going to be discussing if retailers embedding your videos and earning money off of your work is okay, and other things too, so go ahead and stick around. All right, let's go ahead and see if I can make it all the way through this podcast without doing many edits. I want to include warts and all because I don't want to be recording today. But we are so close to episode 300, I kind of just want to push through and get there, because that's a massive milestone. I have been making this show since 2015. A lot of those episodes are hidden now because they're just garbage and nobody was listening to them, and I figured let's just make them go away. But we're almost at episode 300, which is crazy. And I don't want to miss any weeks. I want to get there because maybe I can buy myself a watch for hitting it. That's really all I'm working for nowadays. Just what's the next milestone so I can justify buying a watch? I think I have a problem. Anyway, that was a complete diatribe, and we are not editing it out. Editing it out. I went through the news, and nothing seemed interesting to me. I am sure if there was something interesting, I will be told in the comments. But I thought, what can I discuss? This last week on Twitter, I posted something that I thought generated some very interesting discussions and very interesting disagreements. And this is in regards to retailers posting YouTubers' videos on their pages, on their website, and earning money off of those videos. What I mean is a retailer can embed a YouTuber's video on the retailer's website, and that video may in fact lead to a consumer buying something on that retailer's website, and that YouTuber earns nothing in return. They receive no compensation for that work other than exposure, other than views, other than the potential 0.0001 cent that you might earn from an advertisement. That's all you're earning. And I posted about this because I think this is a very interesting discussion. It stemmed from the fact that somebody sent me a DM saying, hey, I see your videos on this music retailer, this audio gear retailer's website. And that was really all they said. And it made me think about this. Is that okay? Is that okay? What's good about it? What's bad about it? Something feels wrong about it, but I'm kind of flattered by it also. So let's explore this a little bit more. Going good so far. No edits yet. I mean, there have been edits because I started over like 4 times. So in some sense, there are edits. Why do I think it's flattering? First, they clearly view the video that I produced as valuable. They probably thought that it provides useful information for the person looking at that piece of audio gear that will help them make a more informed decision. I think that's incredibly flattering. That's really flattering. It also might increase my clout. Oh, did you hear about Podcastage? I saw him on this one music retailer website. That must mean he's really important. Nope, not important at all. And the second reason why I find it flattering is, or maybe not flattering, more so I view it as a positive thing, is it will likely help inform the consumer of the product. It will help them make a more informed decision. Also, full disclosure, I did just edit because I have become so acclimated to when I flub a word, I just sit there for 10 seconds and think, what am I saying? And I don't want to leave 10 seconds of silence as I sit there dumbfounded about how I screwed up a word. So I did edit that. That's the first edit. But now let's explore why I dislike this. And the first one is to an uneducated individual, somebody, probably most people, who don't understand YouTube, don't understand what a YouTube content creator is, or don't understand that anybody is able to embed a video on a website. This likely implies to them that there is some kind of partnership between me and that music retailer or me and that microphone company. And I don't like that. I don't like that I have no power over somebody believing that I have a partnership with a company that I don't have a partnership with because I am not getting paid for that. So that's a big downside in my opinion. The second one, I know they're not going to embed my reviews that are negative towards a product. They're only going to embed the videos that they believe will lead to somebody buying that product that they've embedded the video on. If it's a Neumann TLM-102, they're not going to embed my video. If I say, yo, this Neumann TLM-102 sucks, don't buy it, they're only going to embed the one that says, this TLM-102 is amazing, everybody should buy one, yippee! And I don't like that because they're cherry picking the videos that will benefit them the most. And that removes the impartialness of my channel, because there will be videos that are positive, there will be videos that are negative. But if somebody is only watching stuff on that website, all they're going to see are the positive reviews that I've done, because I doubt a retailer is going to post a video saying, don't buy this product that you're looking at on our website right now that we sell. They're just not going to do it. That's the second thing. And the final thing, which is what initially kicked it off, which is what initially left a kind of bad taste in my mouth, is I receive zero compensation for the sales of products that they've made because of my video. And I am sure that does happen. I looked up the stats for this one website. I'm getting about 1,000 views per month from their website. So there could be 1,000 people who buy gear based on the information they found in my video, and I receive nothing for that. Nothing. And that's kind of a kick in the pants. Now, there was a lot of interesting discussion in response to this tweet, and frankly, a lot of creators just said, yeah, I don't care. I don't care about this at all. If you don't like it, just disable embedding of your videos, which is something that you can do. I can't do that because I have podcastage.com. I have bandrewscott.com. I have websites where I embed my videos on to aggregate the information and, most importantly, to hopefully get more traction in Google search and all search engines, because now it's not only going to pull up my videos from YouTube, it's also going to be pulling up the blog post that goes along with that review that I did. Huh? How you like them apples? That's my entire strategy there. That's why I do it. I hate doing it because it takes more time, but I do it because I believe it will increase my potential reach, my potential discoverability. But like I said, a lot of creators didn't care because they were fine just with the idea of getting the views, getting the additional traction. I guess my first thought there is, it's not going to lead to you getting any more subscribers, because I don't think a single person who is looking on a music retailer is going to say, oh, that video was really helpful. I'm going to go ahead and click through to YouTube, find out who it is, and subscribe to them. Because when they see the video embedded on that retailer's website, chances are they think this is a video produced by this retailer. They helped me decide to buy this microphone, I'm going to buy it. So you are not getting anything from that, really. You are not going to gain or I shouldn't say you won't with 100% certainty. There's a possibility. It's going to be a very, very small minority, though. You are not going to get 1,000 subscribers per month because of it. You may get one, if you're lucky. But the next thing that I did was, first off, edit again, because whoopsie-doopsie, I'm a big dummy and I don't know what I talk about most of the time, and I don't want to put out poorly formulated ideas. But the second thing that I pushed back against was the idea of being compensated for it. And a lot of people, like I said, were fine with the views, but they also didn't care about the compensation. So the way that I pushed back is by trying to come up with a very similar scenario that they would be less likely to be okay with. So the scenario that I came up with is, would you be okay with me starting a blog, embedding your YouTube video on there, and then just putting all of my affiliate links underneath it? That way, when somebody finds that blog post through Google or anything, they will not click through to YouTube and click your affiliate links. They will click on my affiliate link that is directly beneath your video. Ergo, I am earning money off of your hard work, and you receive zero compensation. I don't know. I don't know what their response was. I think Bo Beats, or as I like to call him, Bob Eats, he didn't like the idea, but he said I wouldn't do anything about it. So I told him, hang on, I'll be right back. I'm starting BobEatsOfficial.com. And I'm just going to repost all his videos and put affiliate links underneath them. I'm not really going to do that, and I don't think anybody should. I think that's crappy. But that's the exact same thing in my mind. By me reposting their videos on a new blog with my affiliate links underneath them, if somebody clicks on my affiliate link and buys based on their hard work, based on their video, that is me. I won't go so far as to say stealing, but it is me profiting off of their work. And if a retailer embeds your video on their website and somebody watches that, and your video helps that consumer decide to buy that microphone or that interface or that camera, and you are not compensated, that retailer is benefiting off of your hard work. They are profiting off of your hard work. And I don't know, that just leaves a bad taste in my mouth. I'm not going to disable all the embedding features. It's just something I was thinking about that I thought was very interesting. It's interesting that that is a thing, because if these retailers wanted these videos, they would have to pay their employee to produce them, or pay some third party to produce these videos. Yet they have access to hundreds of thousands of videos of very high quality that they can just pull from and just embed on their website. And then they don't have to invest a single dollar. They don't have to pay anyone. They are getting free labor from you if they embed your video. I don't know. It seems a bit wrong to me. I may be crazy, though. Maybe I should be happy with the 1,000 views I'm getting and the 0 subs I'm getting from them and the $0 I'm getting from them making sales off of my hard work and your hard work, too. Just an interesting thing. I'd love to hear your thoughts. Do you think that's okay? Do you think that's not okay? Do you think I need to shut my stupid mouth and just be okay with people embedding my videos? Let me know what you think. What do we have next? No news. I guess this is kind of a rant. Let's talk about what you had to... Oh, today I'm still on the 1040. I am on Dark. Dark, 100% tube, supercardioid. Also, why am I wearing a gray hoodie? Because I spilled toothpaste on my green hoodie and I don't want to hear all the comments, all the disgusting comments of people. Oh, what white liquid is dripping down your sweatshirt? Yeah, what is that, toothpaste, or is that... I'm not going to go there. That's disgusting, you perverts. That's why I'm wearing my gray hoodie, because I spilled toothpaste and I haven't washed it yet. Anyway, what you had to say. First comment comes from Greg LG. He says, why not give the aliens a newer NW700 so the aliens underestimate our technological advances when they see how bad it is? We could then have Bill and Ted and their daughters unite mankind and defeat the aliens with U-87 mics. Bandrew, you would be a hero. Greg, thank you very much for the comment. I had to include this because I think that's the correct answer. I think Greg hit the ball out of the park and came up with the exact answer that should have been given to last week's question from Rev Jesse. Give the aliens the NW700. And frankly, I listened to Rev Jesse's question about an hour before I typed up my response, and I forgot that the entire purpose of it was to defeat the alien race. I thought it was just giving them a gift. So I didn't have the proper response, the proper angle that I was viewing the question from, and I think Greg hit the ball out of the park. Spot on, buddy. Next, we have a comment from Sound Speeds. Sorry, neighbors, I apologize. And he says, you missed one of the big reasons people start YouTube channels, to get free stuff. They have 6 subs from different accounts that they formed and want Neumann to send them a U-87. Why aren't they seeing that my opinion would be amazing? I see some people that seem to think they offer some amazing perspective that manufacturers should bow a knee for. That is crazy to me, and very much the wrong way to see YouTube content creation too. Alan, thank you very much for the comment, and thank you for bringing this up. I imagine I don't need to talk about this because most people who watch and listen to this show are intelligent and understand relationships with companies and why companies do things, but I'm going to use this as an excuse to get on my soapbox and remind people. First point I want to make is free stuff is not free. Secondly, the only reason that any company is giving you anything at no charge is because they believe the value they will be receiving from giving you that item at no charge is going to exceed the cost of them manufacturing that item. That's the only reason, because they are expecting value out of you. So let us explore these ideas now. We are doing a lot of exploring today. I should be wearing an Explorer watch, but I'm not. I'm an idiot. I missed this opportunity. What a dummy. Okay, the first point is free stuff isn't free. And the reason I say that free stuff is not free is based on the context of this discussion. I am talking about content creators receiving stuff free of charge at no cost to them. The reason that free stuff is not free is because when a content creator receives an item, it includes with it many obligations. This does, of course, assume that you aren't just getting sent a bunch of stuff that you don't have to do anything with. If you just have an open inbox, an open P.O. box where people just send stuff and you have zero obligation, then it may be different. But if you are actually, what's the proper word? Not mitigating, curating what is sent to you so you don't end up with stacks of garbage that you end up throwing in the dump, then it does come with inherent obligations. And what I mean by that is when you receive an item to review, yeah, you may be getting something that you don't have to pay for, but you are now obligated to spend tens, 20s, or in Alan's case, hundreds of hours sometime. And if you put value on your time, which I think you should, this is something that I started doing a couple years ago. I denominate all things that I'm about to buy in hours. So if I'm buying a watch, if I'm buying a DVD, I'll say, am I willing to have worked an hour to buy this DVD? Am I willing to have worked 80 hours to buy that watch? Am I willing to have worked 100 hours to buy that microphone? If I'm not okay with that, I won't buy it. If I am okay with it, then I will. So that's the first trick. This is just completely off topic. Denominate your purchases in hours worked as opposed to dollars, because that will tell you if you really want it. Am I really willing to have worked 10 hours to eat this really fancy burrito? Probably not. I'm going to go to Chipotle, or I'm going to go to Taco Bell, or I'm just going to go buy a can of beans and a tortilla at the grocery store and make one for a quarter hour of my time. And then I can eat for a week as well, because beans and cheese and tortillas are really cheap. So that's the first thing. Denominate your purchases in time. So when you get an item, you are going to have to spend your time. So make sure you account for that. Do you charge $100 an hour? Well, now if you spend 30 hours, that's $3,000 of your time that you spent on that video. That is just accounting for your time. So just in that respect, if we ended it right there, you are automatically not receiving anything for free, because you are in turn returning value to that company by spending your time. I don't understand how you could even forget that. But once you go past that, you are also offering value to that company by allowing them access to your platform. For me, I'm allowing a company to send me a product that I don't pay for, but now they are gaining access to a platform that has nearly 300,000 subscribers. After seeing what people charge for advertisements and dedicated videos, that should cost between $3,000 and upwards of $10,000 to gain access to my channel, to get a dedicated video. But in many cases, I am actually buying the gear that I'm reviewing. So not only am I not getting paid for that access to my platform, not only am I not getting compensated for my time, the 10s, 20s, 30s, 30, 50 hours in very rare cases that I spend on a review, not getting compensated for that. But I'm also, what's the other thing? I don't know. So I'm spending money on the mic, not getting compensated for my time, and not getting compensated for access to the thing, to the platform. So that's the entire point. Make sure that you account for the value of your time and access to your platform. People forget about their time all the time. Sounds a bit redundant, but just understand that. And the second point that I wanted to make, this kind of ties into the first one. The companies understand that they're getting value out of you. The value they receive from sending you an item must exceed the cost to manufacture and ship that item to you. And companies are fully aware of this. They're not sending stuff out of the goodness of their heart. They're not saying, I'm going to go ahead and send out a bunch of microphones because it'll make people happy. No, they're saying, I'm going to send out a bunch of microphones because it's going to increase sales. The bottom line's going to be tight. And that's fine. That's fine that they think that way. That's fine. That's what companies are supposed to do. So the entire point of this is companies are doing that so they don't have to pay their employees thousands of dollars for their time to produce videos, as well as they don't have to spend tens of thousands of dollars on advertising campaigns on Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and in print media. They just send out the gear to YouTubers who then make videos, and that functions as their marketing budget. Just keep all of this in mind. And I'm not saying it's good, I'm not saying it's bad, I'm just saying you need to constantly remember what the relationships are. They may be very nice people working at these companies, but understand what their true motivations are. Sell the gear that they are sending to you. That is their entire goal. Your goal as a content creator is to help your viewers have more informed decisions, better informed decisions. Your obligation is not to the company, it is to the consumer. I'm getting on my soapbox, but just keep that in mind. But I also want to address something because Alan's talking about people with 6 viewers trying to get a Neumann U87. As far as offering value to companies, they are expecting value from you. So you cannot, if you are somebody who reaches out to companies saying, hey, give me a free Neumann U87. Hey, give me this for free. Again, first, it's not free. But secondly, you need to frame your emails, frame your communications with these companies in a way that sells yourself to them. What I mean is not like, hey, buy me for $10. No, it's present your email in how you are going to provide value for the company. So if you don't have a large viewership, say, I produce high quality videos, here's a reel, and you will be able to use that on your social media and you don't have to pay for a video, whatever. But when you are framing an email to a company saying, hey, give me stuff at no charge, don't say, send it to me because it'll really help my channel and that would be really cool of you. Because why the hell do they care about your channel? Instead, frame it, hey, you should send me this item at no charge because here is what I will do with it, and here is how that would benefit you. And that is how you need to frame it. That's all I have to say about it. That was a great comment from SoundSpeeds, and I think he knew exactly what he was doing, that it would lead to me going on a diatribe. And again, I'm not saying that this is good, I'm not saying this is bad, I'm just saying that you as a content creator who might be receiving free items from a company or might be requesting free items from a company needs to be acutely aware and constantly constantly remember what the true basis of your relationship with these companies is. And never let that cloud your judgment. Your obligation should always be to the viewer, always be to the consumer. Sure, be nice to companies, but they're not your bosses. Your boss is your viewers. Your bosses are your viewers. They are the people you ought to be serving. They are the people you ought to be answering to. Free stuff isn't free. And companies only give you stuff at no charge because they are expecting value in return that exceeds the cost to manufacture and ship it to you. Just remember that. They want free marketing. I shouldn't say free marketing because I should give them the exact same idea that we're discussing here. They want marketing that exceeds the cost of You get the entire point. It's just a deep, dark hole of semantic arguments. Okay, let's jump to my favorite part of the show, the Ask Bandrew segment. But before I do that, I did have to edit again because my camera stopped recording. Okay, Ask Bandrew segment. Welcome to the Ask Bandrew segment. My name is Bandrew. And ask me stuff. Why did I start doing the introduction to the show? I have no idea. If you have questions that you want answered, go to askbandrew.com. That is not Ask Bandolier. By the way, I think that every episode I'm just going to look up a new word that starts with BAN, and that's going to be my new intro. Just for historians, because I know they're going to be confused by it. They can reference back to episode 294 of this show to find out where it all truly began. Because I ran out of things to call myself. Banjo, Bandrew, Bander, and Bandar. I can't think of any others that YouTube used in their subtitles, their automatic closed captioning. Anyway, askbandrew.com. Instructions on how to send in audio, video, and text-based questions. I do prefer audio and video because then I don't have to read. Today, we only have 2 audio submissions that I pulled off of SpeakPipe. Yeah, I'm getting to those now. Sorry about that. Because I'm lazy, and I didn't want to make this episode, so we're only doing 2 that I could record very quickly. Let's jump to the first one. I have no idea who sent this in. Take it away.
Hey there, Bandrew. I have a question. I'm actually in the middle of my podcast recording, and this is just an emergency, so I had to contact you. My emergency is my microphone is clipping a lot, and it is not going above the peak, but it's still clipping, and I'm wondering if it's something to do with my microphone because it is aging a little bit. And I'm also using some compression and EQ that, when mixed with my old microphone might not be able to handle this compression that I'm using. I'm using the TTR Kotelnikov compressor from Acoustic Audio and the kind of EQ. So that's the compressor I'm using, and I'm using the Audio TiVo filter interface for gain. But I'm wondering, is my gain the problem? Is my gain up too high, and now why? But I'm lost here. I don't want to, damage my microphone by doing something different. But how do I change my microphone's clipping?
All right. To summarize the question, this gentleman is recording their microphone and it is clipping, but they are not exceeding the peaks. My understanding of this, or at least the way that I am viewing this, they are clipping in their DAW. They hear the clipping, but in their DAW, they don't see their level exceeding 0 dB. And they are using the Audient ID4 with compression and EQ. Now, it's very difficult to answer this without hearing samples, so I have to make a ton of assumptions. And what I'm assuming is you are clipping at the interface level, and then you are compressing that, so when you are looking at your level in the DAW, it is below 0 dB. In order to demonstrate this, I'm going to jump to a past recording that I made earlier today, where I capture my screen for the Universal Audio console software, and you can see exactly what I'm talking about. I will demonstrate it, and if you are just listening, go to bandrewsays.com so you can see all of the stuff that you get the point. Okay. Insert the sample here now. What the hell am I doing? All right, now I have my screen being captured, and I apologize if you are listening. I will try to be descriptive, or go to bandrewsays.com and just watch the video for this portion. Up on my screen, I have the Universal Audio console software. I have my channel strip pulled up, which shows you how much gain I'm applying to the microphone, and I also have my LA2A compressor pulled up. What I'm going to do is demonstrate the issue that I think that you're having. So currently I have my gain set at 31 decibels, which is a good level. I am not too hot. I am not too quiet. But let me go ahead and increase this gain quite a bit. And now you can hear that I am clipping and distorting. You can look at my compressor and see that I'm getting around negative 20 decibels of gain reduction. And if we look at my meter, we are still not exceeding 0 decibels. So let me go ahead and decrease this again because that is absolutely maddening. Okay, there we are, back to a normal level. We're getting between 1 and negative 3 dB of gain reduction. And based on what you're saying, that's what I think your issue is. You are compressing a clipped signal, and because you do have a compressor on, it is making it look like you aren't hitting 0 dB. So when you're at the step of setting your gain, make sure that you disable all the plugins while you're doing it. Let me go ahead and disable my compressor now, and here is the actual level that I'm getting, around negative 15 to negative 9 dB. Now this is going to get very loud. I will attenuate it in post so I don't blow out your speakers. Let me jump up to 50 dB, which is what I was doing before, and now we are definitely hitting that 0 dB and clipping. But if I go ahead and engage my compressor, now we are no longer hitting that 0 dB because we have the compressor attenuating the signal, but we are compressing that clipped and distorted signal. So again, to really drive home the point, when you are setting your gain, make sure that all of your plugins are turned off because you want to make sure that the level that you're seeing is the level that is actually going through your audio interface's preamp and analog to digital converter, because if you clip at the interface's preamp or the converter, there is nothing that you can do to fix that. That is baked into the signal, even if you put a compressor in post. Once it is on your computer, that clipping is already there. That's my advice. I'm making assumptions here, but I'm guessing that's what's happening for you. And there you go. That is my conclusion. That is what I believe the solution to your problem is. I know this was sent in August. In the emails, I'm all the way up to 2022. I just had forgotten about SpeakPipe, so I apologize for that. I will get through all of them very shortly. Also, send in more, because we're running out. We will run out in a month or two. And yeah, that's my advice. While setting your gain, make sure you shut off all the effects in your DAW, in your software, and whatever you're doing, because that will skew the results. Hopefully that helps. Next, we have another question from somebody who I do not know because they do not state their name. So take it away for the second Ask Bandrew question.
Hi, I wanted to ask, what kind of setup would you recommend for a conference room? I get the feeling that the usual go-to solutions are aimed at companies that prefer to solve the issues with money. I would really like to know your opinion on what kind of gear would work in a probably a little bit reverberant room with speakers somewhere, I suppose, or perhaps one of those integrated speaker microphone solutions are a good fit.
All right, you want suggested setups for conference rooms. This is way out of my wheelhouse, so do not take any of my advice here because I am a dope who does not understand this stuff. I have never set up a conference room for this situation, so I am grasping around in the dark looking for a light switch. My first thought, this is how stupid I am. My first thought was, it's the Blue Yeti. The Blue Yeti, because it's something that I know. It's affordable, and it has the omnidirectional polar pattern. And if you're getting a microphone for a conference room, chances are you're going to want an omnidirectional microphone because you will have the conference table, and there will be people sitting all the way around it. And you want to pick up their voices when they speak. The issue with the Blue Yeti is you will need speakers to be playing the audio, and because the speaker and the microphone aren't designed to be working together, you would just get bleed, and that would be terrible for the people on the other end of the conference call. So I would recommend looking into, there's a bunch of speakerphone style devices that are designed specifically for this use case. And there are two companies that come to mind. First one being Shure. The second one being Buyer Dynamic. Sure looks like they have some very high-end stuff, so it's likely not going to be an affordable option. I think they have stuff that goes for like $300 to $700, and then they have multiple $1,000 systems. Obviously not going to be the solution because it sounded like you were looking for more of a budget solution. And then you have the Buyer Dynamic Phonum, Phonum. That's a little Bluetooth speakerphone thing. I imagine that could function there. Also, I am not directly recommending any of these because I have not used any of them. It's just the two that came to mind when I thought, wait a second, there are devices designed specifically for this. I will link both of those in the show notes in case you are interested in checking them out. Hopefully that helps, sir. Thank you very much for the voice submission. That's it. Let's jump to the movie of the week. And this week, this is a weird pick for me. It's Pirates of the Caribbean at World's End from 2007. Let me be abundantly clear. I did not enjoy this movie, but simultaneously, I did not hate this movie. I thought it was tolerable. It was a fine way to enjoy nearly 3 hours of my life. Okay, that's my first issue with this movie. 3 hours for a Pirates of the Caribbean movie? What the hell are you doing? Cut it down by 45 minutes. Make it 2 hours tops. Come on. 3 hours? You're joking. But I am not picking this movie for any reason other than it made me feel nostalgia. But nostalgia for a time that I never existed in. I never lived in this era unless I had previous lives, which I'm not aware of, which would be amazing. How cool would that be, learning, oh my gosh, I lived in the 17 and 1800s as a pirate, 17 and 1800s as a lighthouse keeper, and then in the 70s as a lighthouse keeper that fought Scooby-Doo and the entire gang. Anyway, the thing that made me enjoy this, again, was not the movie, but it made me nostalgic for a time where there was still mystery. And what I mean by that is so much unknown. There would be sailors who end up at bars on shore talking about giant sea monsters that swallow ships up whole. There are sirens that draw you in so you crash into the rocks. It's just such a fascinating time. And that's what made me love. I long for a time with more mystery and more unknown. Maybe it's just that I'm older and more bitter and jaded now. But when I was a kid, it felt like there was still so much unknown. There was still so much excitement. There was, oh, we're going back into space. We got the space shuttle program. Oh my gosh, James Cameron is going deep into the sea. You can go to the Arctic. It seemed like there was still a lot of exciting expeditions happening, and that was exhilarating to think of yourself in these expeditions, going on adventures. Maybe nowadays that still exists. I'm just not aware of it. But to me, it seems like science answers everything. And that's good and all because it solves a lot of problems. But at the same time, I'm just left thinking, come on, I want a little bit of mythology. I want a little bit of unknown. I want a little bit of mystery. I guess that's where the paranormal podcast and Jim Harold's Campfire come in. We get that. We get that mystery, that unexplained, that unsolved mysteries. Maybe that's what it was, unsolved mysteries. If anybody knows what this episode was, I saw this as a kid. It screwed me up so bad. At least it's still stuck with me. And I saw this decades ago. It was an unsolved mysteries about a train track. And there would be a green light floating on the train track, and they would drive through it on the train and then look out the back, and then the green light would still be floating in the middle of the train tracks. There was nobody there. There was nobody holding a lantern or anything. And it had something to do with a ghost, somebody who had been run over on the train tracks or something. I don't know. But that one stuck with me, the idea of just a floating green light in the middle of a train track. Tell me which one it was, because I want to see that again. I want to relive that sense of mystery because everything, oh, here's the answer. Don't put out mis and disinformation. How about I want mis and disinformation? I want to be mystified. I want to be confused by stuff. But no, everything has to be exact. How boring a world we live in. So that's why I liked Pirates of the Caribbean. Jeez Louise. I don't know what I'm talking about, but this is why I edit. I've only done, 3-4 edits, which is amazing because normally I do 25, 30 edits because I try to be perfect with what I'm trying to say, especially when discussing more controversial topics. I try to make sure that I do not misspeak because although I am saying I really enjoy mystery and all of that, I do believe in responsibility of platform. And as my audience grew on this channel, but more importantly on the main channel on Podcastage, I felt more obligation to ensure that I'm being fair, I'm spending sufficient time with the gear to actually understand it, and that I am not getting anything wrong. I still will screw up from time to time, but as my audience grew, I felt a much stronger responsibility to make sure that I'm not getting anything wrong. So I do believe in a responsibility of platform, even though I want that mystery, I want that unsolved whatever. Okay, that's it for today. Hopefully you enjoyed that. That was me being lazy. And I had fun. This was a fun one, just to not really care too much. So I hope you had a good time. I hope we have an amazing Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. Next Sunday I will talk at you. And I love you. geeksrising.com. I'll talk to you next week. Bye-bye.
This has been a Geeks Rising production. Your executive producer is Bandrew Scott. For more information, head over to www.geeksrising.com.